you in for a treat today? We have an amazing tool that will dice and slice and bake and cut, but not change the actual amount of pie you have, just change how many pieces that it's cut into. It's an amazing tool. What tool is it? It's the tool number 1. That's right. Anything times 1 is itself. It doesn't change the amount. It's still the same pie. 4 pieces cut into 4 pieces baked with the tool number 1. It's going to be 4 pieces of pie. That's right. And it's so exciting. But what if I want my piece of pie cut smaller? Well, this tool is so amazing that you can actually change the settings on it. That's right. Put that checkbook away. We're going to find out what more this tool can do. Not only can it be multiplied by one number to keep it the exact same number, but it can change how many pieces of pie that your pie is cut into. Instead of being cut into 4s, I want my pie into 8s. Well, how do I do that with this amazing tool number 1? If I want to change this to an 8 and cut it into 8 pieces, then I'm going to have to change this 4 to an 8. How many times does 4 go into 8? It goes 2. So we're going to have to use our number 1 tool on the number 2 setting. So I'm going to change this number 1 to the 2 setting. So here we go. There it is. There's the 2 setting of my number 1. 4 is still going to be times 1, but it's going to be on the 2 setting. So 4 times 2 equals 8. There it is. And then the number of the numerator is going to change, because when I now cut them into 8s, now how many pieces do I have? I have 2. But they're smaller, they're in 8s. It's the same amount, it's the same amount right there, but now I have 2 of those pieces, because now they're cut into 8s instead of 4s. So look at that. I can change how many pieces that my pie is cut into by this amazing number 1 tool, just by the setting I use. Let's do another one. Let's take our 4th piece of pie and use it to change it to 12s. Now my pieces are getting even smaller, but I still have the same number of pieces. So how would I get my 1/4 to change into 12s? I'm going to multiply it by that amazing number 1 tool again. But how many times does 4 go into 12? It goes in 3 times. So I'm going to set my number 1 tool on the number 3 setting. There it is, the number 3 setting, folks. So 4 times 3 equals 12. But remember, when you change the number of the denominator, you're also changing the number of the numerator. How many 12 pieces am I going to have? 1 times 3 is 3. Now I'm going to have 3 of these pieces, because now they're in 12s. So now I have 3 12s. 1/4 is the same as 3 12ths, because you're still taking 1/4 of the pie, but now it's in the form of 3 little 12th pieces, or before we had it as 2 little 8th pieces. Our pieces are getting cut smaller, but it's still the same amount, because we're still only multiplying by that 1 tool. We're just changing the settings to however many we want. So yes, today, folks, you can get that number 1 tool, and it's amazing because it puts the setting over itself. Any setting you set it to, I could set it to 15 over 15. I could set it to 20 over 20. It has so many settings you can't even count them all. What an amazing deal. Come and get your number 1 tool today. Change it into any setting you need to help your fractions become the fractions they need to be.